Hello everyone, today in this video we will fight against the advanced character of our world around us, and this time I would like to point at some links between some historical phenomena that happened during the last 500 years. And these links are very often neglected or intentionally omitted by many commentators and historians, especially when they are Protestants or socialism. So now we know more or less what I will talk about. Yes, I will talk about the famous hypothesis of Mr. William Shirer, who postulated in his monumental and great work about the history of the Third Reich, so National Socialistic Germany, abbreviation Nazi Germany, which was originally published in 1960. Mr. Shirer, the witness of the events up to December 1941, in which he was interred in Berlin and later sent back to United States when Germany declared the war in United States. He was a correspondent of some American newspapers in Germany for many years, so he had his insights. And his book, of course, he is anti-National Socialism. He mentions it that he despises this and hates this political system, so we know his standpoint. This is important to know, but his work is very professionally done work of the historian and at the same time journalist. And in his work that I prize so much, the Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, monumental work, he postulated that there is, I would say, intellectual connection from Luther to Hitler. Yes. German Protestants will always, and other Protestants, evangelics, will attack me that, Luther, he was against the spoiled Rome, against the corruption, he was only advocating for pure word of God, and blah 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 blah, without the end. No. Luther was actually fierceful anti-Semite. Luther was actually fierceful racist, and he was actually a very greedy guy, driven by his especially sexual lust, because he didn't like to be Augustine monk. The funny thing is that he belonged to the community of monks under the patronage of the name of Saint Augustine. And Luther was actually, first of all, revolutionary. Here I refer to famous hypothesis of first conservative thinkers who freshly after the French Revolution were looking for the roots of this calamity that they experienced during their life. So Mr. Joseph de Maistre and Louis de Bonald, they were really seeing the roots of the French Revolution, so the largest calamity of their times, and in my opinion, one of the largest calamity in entire human history. They saw it in the Reformation, and if Reformation, then we need to go to Mr. Martin Luther. And the funny thing is that there is a famous notion, this is a sort of footnote, there is a notion that his 95 theses Mr. Luther nailed to the doors of the cathedral. Actually, he couldn't nail anything to this door because they exist till now, and they are out of iron. So he couldn't nail his thesis. So we see that everything in the history of Protestantism is actually a lie. And Mr. Luther was also one big liar. His famous Bible translation is also revolutionary. I have nothing against translating Bible, but he was, or any other holy scripts of another religion. People should read it in the language they understand the best. But in translating text, one cannot omit fragments one doesn't like for what reason ever, and one shouldn't manipulate with the meaning of the words. Mr. Luther was doing it very often. That is why everything what he was doing was revolutionary, and quickly after his famous action in Wittenberg in 1517, he actually induced, when his words and postulates spread, the peasants' war in Germany. Because peasants were thinking, oh, okay, so we can ask for our rights. And they started revolting against the social order, against their lords. But of course, Mr. Luther liked very comfortable seat in his palace in, in Goslar and surroundings. And that is why he didn't support peasants revolting against the lords. He was saying that they misinterpreted his words. Ah, we see. So Mr. Luther and later all revolutions, French Revolution and Socialism revolutions, are tightly connected, and we always need to remember that the mother of all revolutions that we have now, including wokism, is once a French Revolution, but the grandmother, even more, I would say, fundamental in origins of all of these revolutions, grandmother of all of these revolutions we have to deal with up today is Reformation. And nothing good can come from Reformation if we, thanks to the hubris, reject traditions of interpretation and dealing with the things which are important, and we trust only our hubris and interpret it as we want. Protestantism started series of revolutions that are destroying the world, and we should remember it, that Protestantism is a grandmother of all evils. French Revolution is mother, but if we look at the mother, we also should look at the grandmother. And the grandmother for the madness of our times is Protestantism. All the best, have a nice day, bye.